What can you do, Jesus? Somebody say, name above every other name. Oh, what can't you change? What can't you change, Jesus? Tonight we celebrate God. Come on, Jesus. Creator, what can't you do? What can't you do? What can't you do? What can't you do, Jesus? Name above every other name. What can't you change? What can't you change, Jesus? Lift your hands, say you are able. Great and mighty. Great and mighty. You are able, Jesus. Lift it up, say, there is nothing you cannot do, nothing you cannot change, nothing you cannot turn around. You are able, great and mighty God. Put my trust in you. You are able, Jesus. We love to sing about our God. Come on, put your hands together. Say, put those hands together. Let us shoot with a heart. Jesus, Creator, what can't you do? What can't you do? You do, Jesus. You're the name above every other name. What can't you change? What can't you change? Jesus, for you are able, great and mighty. You are able, Jesus, Jesus. Come on, somebody lift it up. There is nothing, nothing you cannot change, nothing you cannot turn around. You are able, great and mighty. I put my trust in you, for you are able. Say, Jesus. There is nothing you cannot do. And so we sing to you. Great and mighty. You are Jesus. Lift your voice, sing to your God. Our God, King of all, the strong and breastplate, eternal King, Jesus. Oh, there is nothing you cannot change, nothing you cannot turn around. You are able, great and mighty. I put my trust in you. You are able, God. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. Sing it again and again and again and again. Able God, able God. You are able, Jesus. This is our song tonight. Celebrate. Come on, celebrate God. Jesus.
You are able. You are able. Good evening, New Season Gospel FM family, and welcome to another episode of Faith Matters with me, Nina. It is another Monday, and I am so grateful to be here again on another episode just to share with you and to reflect on our daily Christian walk. How are we being Christ's hands and feet? How are we shining His light brightly for others to see? I pray that you all had a wonderful start to your week and that everything's going well so far. I hope that you're trying as much as you can to be Christ's hands and feet, to shine His light brightly for others to see, and just you're just continuing being the vessels that you are called to be. So if you're just coming in, welcome into the room this evening. I want to take the time to welcome family and friends who have joined in on, of course, Facebook and YouTube, and those who are streaming from newseasonfm.com. Thank you all so much. Good evening, Yaya. Good evening, Randu. Good evening, Zane. Thank you for coming in. Mercily, I might be butchering the name quite a bit, but good evening. I hope that you're doing well. Thank you so much for coming on tonight. Take the time to like, share the broadcast, invite someone to come on, because they may have like a few nuggets to share. Hopefully, it's something that will resonate with you, something that you can run with and just apply in your own daily life or daily walk with Christ. And Faith Matters basically is a platform where I do most of the talking, just reflecting on our daily Christian life. Like, how are we being Christ's hands and feet? How are we shining His light brightly for others to see? So I talk about things that happen to me just in my day-to-day lives, and how I respond to them or react to things that happen to me from a faith perspective, sometimes not so much from a faith perspective, and just the different struggles or just challenges that I face just living out my faith, because it's not a walk in the park, just like some people might want it to be. It's not a walk in the park, people. If you say you're Christian, it is not easy, but I'm so grateful for God's grace and mercy that just helps me carry on day in and day out. I don't know about you, if you're having it easy and great. Kudos to you. I'm so happy for you, but for me, and I don't know about others, it's not easy. We have those challenges. I face those challenges, those struggles every single day, but I'm grateful to God for His grace and His mercy that always just helps me along the way. So again, this is what I'm here for. This is what I'm here for. This is a platform where I do that, just reflect. Sometimes I vent and things like that, but that's what Faith Matters. It's about. It's Faith Matters. So again, thank you for coming in tonight. Jumping into it, well, before I jump into my whole thing, I just want to take the time to say thank you to our sponsors. It's because of your generosity that we're able to do what we do, that we can come on the air, that we can keep the radio station going. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, from the bottom of our heart, because I speak for the entire team. I know that everyone's grateful for your generosity, for all of those who financially support, and those who support us and stand by us with your prayers. We so appreciate it. If you haven't financially supported, I'd like to ask you to prayerfully consider being a supporter to do today. The ways to do so, of course, we've got PayPal. You can do so through PayPal if PayPal is your thing. Word Music 47 at hotmail.com. That's the info for PayPal. Again, that's Word Music 47 at hotmail.com. Haven't heard Hotmail in a long time, but that's our PayPal info if you're a PayPal person. You can also do so through Cash App. For Cash App, it's the $ New Season WC. That's the $ New Season WC. You can go straight to our website, newseasonfm.com. Click on the give/donate button. It'll take you right to the page where you're able to give. If any of those don't work for you, you can also you can do Zelle. For Zelle, it's 954-536-1821. That's 954-536-1821. And if those don't work for you, you can just write us a check. We do accept checks. So mail a check out to us here at 4660 North University Drive, Lauderhill, Florida, 33351. Again, that's 4660 North University Drive, Lauderhill, Florida, 33351. Good evening, Akil. Thank you for coming on. Yes, they still have hot milk. Surprise, surprise. I hadn't heard hot milk in a long, long time, but apparently hot milk still out there. Hot milk still exists. So yeah, so that's what I'm here for. Just sharing my journey. Sometimes I share from my personal reflection pages, and something might strike a chord with you, and you're like, yeah, I'm feeling that too, or I never thought of it that way, and just like that. So we just share. That's what this is all about. That's what the faith work is about. So again, thank you for coming on. Today is the 226th day of the year. Wow, 226, meaning we only have 139 days left in 2023. Good evening, Sister Odette. 139 days left. Where are you at? This is my usual spiel. Like, where are you at? Where are you at? I don't know what your goals were or what your intent was, as to where you'll be when we got to this point in the year, but hopefully you were aiming of not being at the same spot you were at when the year started. So I'm hoping that you're able to look back or take stock at this point in the year and be like, I've made significant progress. I've taken strides that I'm proud of. And if you have, you should be able to pat yourself on the back. You should be able to say, yes, I did it. I mean, I may not have accomplished everything I set out to accomplish, or that big, humongous goal that I set for myself, but I am almost there. So that's always good. It's good. I think the 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 precious thing about this whole journey is just really appreciating the process, really appreciating the steps, the struggles as you go along, and just overcoming those struggles, overcoming those those little hiccups on the way. That in itself is just a great victory, because when you're able to count those, then you're able to just really see how far you've come. Great. I'm so happy to hear that, Randu. You're almost done with your book. That's amazing. That's definitely a great feat, and I'm so happy for you. I'm super proud of you. Rooting you on. You're gonna, you're almost there. You're almost there. You're gonna make it. And so, congratulations on that. That's amazing. So you get to pat yourself on the back and be like, hey, I wasn't where I was yesterday, so that's a good, that's a good step. I've taken one step forward, which is better than where you were yesterday. You took a step forward. You're not in that same position where you were. So it's really important for us to recognize this and just keep moving. Like, do not just stay where you're at. Do not be that person. I say this all the time. I share from, like I say, I share from things that happen to me, or just things that I'm going through or struggling with. I'm a procrastinator, really working on not being one anymore, and I think I've been doing pretty good so far, and that's kind of like my little pat on the back as well. Like, just seeing the progress that I've made since the year started, as to being more assertive, being more intentional, and just being more of a go-getter, and not just sitting and waiting for everything to fall in place, or everything to just be right before starting, because many times we're sitting down and we're waiting for everything to just be perfect. You're not going to have everything perfect. It's not going to happen. Sorry to say, sorry to bust your bubble. If you're that person who's waiting for everything to align and just all the T's be crossed and the I's dotted, no, it's not going to happen. You're not going to have that perfect moment. The perfect moment is now. Now is the time to do it. So whatever it is that you have on the inside of you that you're thinking of doing, or you're aspiring to, I want to encourage you to just do it. Just start off, and then you iron the kinks along as you go. I think that's really important. Just starting is just, as soon as you start, you discover that you're able to go on, and certain things that you realize that certain things don't really matter. They don't really matter, and they shouldn't be taken so seriously. The most important thing is that you're taking that initial step. So I'm going to leave it at that. Hopefully, you can run with it. If you're that person who is just in that place where you're waiting for everything to be perfect before you do anything, my word of encouragement to you today is just do it. So if you don't take anything out from tonight, just do it, okay? Just do it should be the words that you run with tonight. Be the energy in the urgent that keeps life. That's right. Be the energy in the urgent that keeps life going. I love that. I'm gonna steal that one. That's really beautiful. So be the energy in the urgent that keeps things that keeps life going. Yes, in the current. Be the energy in the current that keeps life going. Yes, yes, yes. That is something I need to steal. If it's okay with you, I'm gonna steal that one. But anyway, so that's just my spiel. Don't be that person who's just sitting down there and just waiting for everything to be right, because it's never ever ever going to be right. You're not going to have that right moment. You're not going to have that right time, and it's not all going to fall into place before starting. So you want to start and then just iron the kinks as you go along. So I'm leaving it at that. Run with it. Do with it however you please. We're in Happiness Happens Month. Happiness Happens Month. I advocated for this to be an everyday thing, and since this is the month of August, it's Happiness Month, so we should try to cultivate the attitude of gratitude and joy and just draw happiness to ourselves every single day in any way that we can. What are the ways that we can do this? By breathing. You breathe. I mean, life happens. We're going through so much. You only need to sit with someone for 5 minutes and ask, how are you? And then you get to hear exactly what you're going through. But life happens, and life's going to continue to happen. Things are still going to be going on. Currents are going to be coming at us from all directions. But it's on us. It's incumbent on us to see how we react to that, to the stuff, the stress that's going on around us. Do we choose to let those things take over us, or do we choose, okay, I'm not going to be controlled or let this dictate just how my emotions are going to be, and I'm going to choose happiness. I'm going to choose joy. I'm going to choose laughter over my stress, over the fact that the whole world is going crazy. So we have that power, we have that ability to be able to make that decision to be happy. So it's like when you wake up every morning, you should be able to say to yourself, okay, it's another day. I don't know what this day holds, but I do know that I'm going to try my very best to choose to be happy. And I think when we do that, it just really goes a long way in just actually helping us walk this path, and just helping us cultivate that joy on the inside of us, which in turn becomes contagious, and you're able to affect others around you and just spread the joy and happiness. Capiche? So again, my holidays, and I'm going to run through these really quickly. Again, I just like to share them because it's kind of like the lighthearted part of the show. Because every single day has something. There's always something that's happening every single day. So don't just think it's not just your regular Monday. Something is happening on this Monday, the 14th. So what's today? Today is the 14th of August. What is today? It's Social Security Day. So for all those who receive Social Security checks and all that, this is your day. Yay. It's Color Book Day. I used to love coloring as a child. I'm thinking that I would find coloring pretty relaxing and therapeutic now as an adult. I haven't really done it, but I really would love to do that. I know they sell these adult color books or color pages. I don't know what they're called, but I'm always fascinated by them. So I was thinking today that I would actually go out and buy one and just, find and see how that works as a stress reliever of some sorts. So I love to color though. I mean, I used to love coloring as a child. I'm pretty sure I would love coloring as an adult. So that's something I'm going to actually start off really soon, kind of just as a way of de-stressing. So Color Book Day, it is also Financial Awareness Day or Finance Awareness Day today. Tattoo removals. Yeah, those who have tattoos and are regretting the tattoos they've had, whatever inks you have on your body, and you're like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking when I put this on my body? For those who write names of people that, I don't know, maybe they went out with and they thought they were going to be like forever, forever. And unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. Then you're stuck with the person's name tattooed on your body. And all those tattoos that you have that you're kind of like, oh gosh, I'm regretting those right now. Well, today is a day where you get to go have those removed. Don't ask me how they do it. I don't really even know how they do it. I'm pretty sure it must be a painful process and probably expensive as well to kind of get all of those tattoos removed. But anyways, if you're out there, you've got a tattoo you want to get rid of. Today is probably the day to do it because it is actually tattoo removal day. Tomorrow is relaxation day. I love this one. I think we all need to take a book. We all need to borrow a page from this day, from Tuesday. We all need to say, hey, I'm relaxing. I'm relaxing today. And relaxation doesn't necessarily mean like, okay, just sit. I don't want to, okay, I'm probably going to shoot myself in the foot right now, but try to relax in ways where you don't. Let's put it in this way. Let's put it in another way because I know it's Tuesday and a lot of people are working. It's a day where, don't overstress yourself. Like, do not stress yourself too much. Good evening, Rev. Thank you for coming on. Don't overstress it. Don't think it. Try to, just relax a bit. Don't work too hard, but do what you need to do. It's Moms Equal Pay Day. So moms are shouting, moms are protesting, like, hey, we want equal pay. So it's Mom Equal Pay Day tomorrow. Best Friends Day as well tomorrow. So shout out to all BFFs out there. If you've got one tomorrow, tag them, take them out to lunch, take them out to dinner, do something nice for them, whatever it is. If you've got a BFF out there, yep, that's what you get to do. Get to spend time with your BFF out there. Yay. You're taking me out? Are you taking me out to lunch or dinner? What are we doing? What are we doing? Anyways, tag your BFF tomorrow, and I think every single day, because you do have those. I think it should be an everyday holiday where you get to, have that person where you can call to vent and to just be an idiot with, and just be like, okay, this is just me. This is all I am. Just it's nice. It's great to have that. Good evening, Sister Marcia. Thank you for coming on. Wednesday is Tell a Joke Day. Tell a joke day. I had a joke planned for Wednesday. Because I thought today was Tell a Joke Day, so I was gonna be like, I have one joke for you, but it's not Wednesday, so I get to keep that joke to myself, and I don't know what to do. I'm not gonna. Maybe I should. I don't even remember it actually as I speak to you. Maybe that's the joke. Oh, and my baby sister is on this evening. Olivia, thank you for staying up and joining tonight. She is joining all the way from Nigeria. Shout out to you, Olivia. Love you. So it's Tell a Joke Day. So I ran into that. I might just throw it in there just really quickly. Someone had said, let me just move along first and then I'll get back to the joke later. It's Finance Broker Day. It's Roller Coaster Day as well. Calligraphy Day. So for all those with perfect handwriting, my handwriting is horrible. It's not even funny. Like people, when I write, and like what? Like my boss always, every time I write something, he looks at it. He's like, what is this? So I don't know. That's not my forte. That's not my thing. Yeah, I'm just gonna move along from that. True Love Forever Day. Okay, find your true love on Wednesday. Thursday is Thrift Store Day. If you love thrifting, Thrift Store Day, go to the thrift store. There's a bunch of great stuff that are actually, you find great steals at the thrift store. I love to go to the thrift store when I can. Again, Black Cat Appreciation Day. I have Akil, I have Sister Marsha up here. You cat lovers, I don't know if you have any black cat. If you do, appreciate them, spoil them. Spoil them, spoil them, spoil them. Spoil them on Thursday. Vanilla Custard Day. I don't like vanilla custard. Not too big on vanilla. I like vanilla and chocolate, ice cream, and that's about it. Anything else that has to do with vanilla flavors, vanilla, fragrances and scents and all of that, not for me. I love my feet day. I love my feet day. This is kind of, I love my whole body. I love every part of my body. So I guess I guess now we're picking parts of the body and assigning days to them to like. So yeah, show your feet some love on Thursday. Nonprofit Day, Couples Day. So for all couples out there, go out to dinner, show some additional love, some added PDA and all of that. on Friday, fajita day, if you love fajita. Meal order catalog, never give up day. I love this one. And that's gonna close out my holidays for the week. Never give up. This should be an everyday holiday. Never ever 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 give up. If you feel discouraged, if you feel down, every day is a new day. When the day starts, it's new mercies. You set your feet on the ground and you're like, come on, let's go. Chop chop, buttercup. We're not giving up today. No is not an response. We're gonna move. We're gonna keep going. So never give up day. I think this should be an everyday holiday. And I'm going to live it at that. And actually that I'm gonna run with that. That's going to be my holiday for this entire week. Never give up day. So that's an encouragement for you out there, whatever you're doing, wherever you're at, whatever you feel you're going through. Never, 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 never ever give up. Keep going, keep holding on, keep riding strong, knowing that God is with you. So never give up. Yes, Olivia, everyone's true love is God. That's right. That is right. That is right. So finding the good, the blessing in the midst of your trials, or like praising harder when things get a little tougher. Say you're going through something tough, or you're going through something that's really hard, but finding that courage, or finding that, I would say, finding the courage to just search for the good and search for the blessing in the midst of things that don't seem right. Keeping your eyes on the goal. I'll be reflecting on that tonight, on just how to keep moving when it just doesn't feel right. So I'm pulling from my holiday for this week, which is never give up. I think that really summarizes everything. How do you just find the good in the midst of your storm, in the midst of all hell breaking loose? It's really tough. It's really tough to do. I said earlier that in life things happen. I mean, you just need to be breathing. You just need to open your eyes, blink your eyes, like just be existing, in order to know that life happens. You're going through things. If you're not in a situation right now, you probably just came out of one. You're either you're walking into one. But if you feel like you're having it all rosy now, like everything's going great, everything is good, well, I'm happy for you, but I will, something's gonna come your way, at some point. And it's important to recognize, or to know how you're going to react when that moment comes, when you feel as though things are not going the way that they should be going. So how do you find the good? How do you see the blessing in the midst of things that are just wrong? How do you keep praising when things are just going from bad to worse, when things are getting harder and harder? It's easy to sit and say, focus on God, like keep your eyes on the goal, which is actually what I'm going to say. It's so easy to say that, but it's really, really hard to do. It's difficult to do. It's difficult to just really follow. It's really difficult to follow, just through on those words, what you're reading and what you're hearing. But it's not impossible to do. It's not impossible to stay focused. Yes, hyper focused, tunnel vision. Exactly. And I was actually going to reflect on this, or share on this, based off of the scripture from Matthew. And I think we're all familiar with that scripture, of Jesus walking on water, right? So Matthew 14:22 to 33. And I'm not going to read the entire thing, just I'm going to read just a few excerpts from there. And it says, shortly before dawn, Jesus went out to them walking on the lake. So it's like, whoa, he's coming towards them, and he's literally walking on water, like, whoa. He's walking on water, and they're like, okay, when the disciples saw him walking on the lake, they were terrified, like, it's a ghost. I mean, I don't know how I would have responded or how, I would react in that moment. I'm like, whoa, like panic mode right there. But they were terrified. They were in fear, like, oh my gosh, this ghost coming at us, and he's like literally floating, like he's walking on water. This is definitely a ghost. But Jesus immediately told them to take courage. He says, take courage. It is I. Do not be afraid. So hold on to those words because we're going to go back to them in a little bit. So he says, take courage. It is I. Do not be afraid. And then I love Peter. I love Peter so much. He says, Lord, if it is you, talk about courage, right? So, I mean, out of all of them, he was the one who was gutsy enough to say, well, if it really is you, Lord, if it is you, tell me to come to you on the water. The only way, because I think he believed, I truly believe that he knew the power that was in Christ. He knew who Christ was, and he knew what he was capable of, and he believed. And because he believed, he knew. I mean, if he didn't believe, because that statement right there is just, to me, that's a statement of belief. That's total trust right there. If you don't have any trust in this guy, there's no way you're going to say, okay, if it's really you, tell me to come to you. Because he knew the Lord. He knew what the Lord was capable of, and he knew what he could do. And so he says, Lord, if it is you, tell me to come to you on the water. Good evening, Mahulo. Thank you for coming on. Tell me to come to you on the water. And Jesus simply says, come. That's it. He said, come. And then Peter got down out of the boat and walked on the water and came towards Jesus. But when he saw the wind, there's the thing, there's the thing. When he saw the wind, he was afraid. He was afraid. And beginning to sink, he cried out, Lord, save me. Beginning to sing, he cried out, Lord, save me. I mean, there's so much in here. I mean, there's not enough time to kind of like unpack everything that's in this few verses, because there's a ton of things going on here, and there's so much that we can that I drew from here that I think that we could all kind of like see ourselves in, or maybe even just recognize and see if it applies and applies to us in any way. Because I mean, first off, because going back to what I said about the disciples seeing him, and then him saying to them, take courage. Like he just says to them, take courage, do not be afraid, it is I. Take courage, do not be afraid, it is I. So it's important that whenever we're going through, like the Lord is always saying, because he's always there and he's constantly saying to us, take courage, it is I, do not be afraid, I am with you. And many times we get to that point where we hear the words, right? We hear what he's saying to us. We know that he's saying these things to us, but then we find it difficult to actually believe, or even, just run with it, because we're not exactly sure what to make of it, or how we, how to relate. Because okay, did he actually say to come to him? Did he actually say take courage? Yes, I heard him say that, but it's hard because of what I'm seeing or what's coming at me. I really can't. It's hard for me to not be afraid. So many times we get so afraid of what's in front of us, or the things that we're going through, that we forget the words that Christ has said to us, the encouragement that he's given to us, like, okay, listen, do not be afraid, it is I. That tells me that because he's like, listen, I've got you. This is me. I'm here. I got you. So don't be afraid, because with me, there's nothing that can harm you. With me, there's nothing that can come to you. So all you have to do is just put your trust in me, and it's really important for us to always remember that when we're going through things. And so another part here is, Lord, if it is you. Here's Peter, right? And we can so draw from Peter so many things that we can get from him. And he says, if it is you, because he's saying, okay, so this dude is walking on the water, and we're not sure who you are. You might be a ghost. You might be, I don't know who you are. It's at night. We can't really see you. I mean, you sound like someone we know, and you're saying it is I. Do not be afraid. But okay, let me test you, because I know that my God, this is Peter now. He's like, I know my God. I know what he's capable of. I know he's able. So if it really is you, tell me to come to you on the water. this is unbelievable faith right there. That's magnificent faith right there, because he's like, he's willing. He trusts God completely, to the point of, I know that if it is my God, I know what he's able to do. I know he's able to do the impossible. And if it really is him, then for sure I'm going to walk on water tonight. That's Peter's thinking. Good evening, Sister Joyla. And that's Peter's thinking. He's like, yeah, because if it truly is my Lord, if that's him, I know for a fact that if he says come on the water, I'm going to be walking on water, because he's able to do that for me. And so it's really important for us to know whose we are, because Peter knows his master. He knows what his master is capable of. He knows whose he is. So many times we always have to remember whose we are. Like, what are you going through? You still you can still because of what you're going through, you still hold on to who your God is. You know who your God is. You know what he is. You know what he's capable of. You know he's the God of the impossible. You know that there's nothing that he cannot do. So because you're aware of the power that he has, and the capability and the things that he's able to do, you're not even afraid. You're like, okay, if this person is an imposter, he sure is not going to ask me to walk on water. But if I know that he's the real deal, then for sure I'm going to be able to walk on water, because I know what my God is capable of. So it's important for us to always to know who our God is, to know whose you are, because again, you all know that I'm big on identity. Everything boils down to your identity, knowing who you are, knowing whose you are. And he knows that he's Peter. He knows who his master is, and he's like, this is my identity. This is the person I'm connected to. And if this is this person that I know that I'm connected to, that's walking on water, I'm going to, in order to test this and to make sure that it's true, I know that if I ask him, or if I, if I challenge him and say to him, okay, God, if it really is you, then tell me to come to you, then he's going to be like, okay, sure, come. And so we see that there. Really important for us to recognize, to remember that, to always know who you are and whose you are in every situation that you find yourself. And then we hear Jesus say to him, okay, sure, come. He just casually said it. Lord, if it is you, tell me to come to you. And then Jesus just casually says, sure, come on. Just like that. Without any, he didn't like, oh, really? You don't believe it's not, you don't believe it's me walking on water? No, he's like, okay, sure. You want proof? Sure, come. He simply just says to him, come. And it's important that at that moment that Peter, this guy's faith is like, I don't know, it's like through the roof. It's through the roof, because so here's this person that you say you're not sure who this person is. This is a ghost. He says he's not a ghost. It is I. Take courage. And he says, okay, if it really is you, tell me to come to you. And then he says, sure, come. And there's the faith element again. And then Peter's like, okay, my master's calling me, so I'm gonna walk on water. That's what I'm going to do. And so Peter, gets out of the boat, and he starts to walk on water, and he's coming towards the Lord. Like, he literally walked on water. Like, he got out in faith. Like, he's like, yep, all I don't know, I don't see what's going on around me. I don't know if it's the ground he's walking on. I don't know if he's walking on air. I don't care. All I know at this point is that my Lord has said, come, and I'm getting out of this boat, and all I know is that I'm walking towards him. And he starts to walk towards him, right? And he's just moving and going. And then we see here where it says, but when he saw the wind, he was afraid, and beginning to sink, he cried out, Lord, save me. So it's really important. It's so important for us to remember this, or to catch something here, because many times we step out in faith. Many times we say, okay, God, if you're calling me to this, if this is what you've asked me to do, or if you've anointed me or blessed me or endowed me with these gifts, and you've actually said to do this, okay, I'm gonna go do it. So we step out with that. We step out with the audacity. We step out with the faith. We step out with the confidence in that moment, that Godfidence. We step out with that, and then in that moment where we start that thing, we're like, okay, wait a minute. Did I think this thing through? Like, what's going on here? Stuff are going on around me. And so this is exactly what's happening to Peter at this moment. Because Peter is like, okay, he's called me out to him. And now I'm walking on water. And he starts to walk towards him. But then it says, when he saw the wind, he was afraid and beginning to sink. He cried out, Lord, save me. So that's another part I'm going to touch. But I want to just hone in there on that. When he saw the wind, he was afraid. You know, so many times we step out, we start something, we start off and we're like, yes, we're so passionate about it, we're running with it, we're like, yeah, we're going to do this, we can do this, we've got all it takes to achieve this, and we start, right? And then after a few steps or just a little into it, then we begin to doubt ourselves, we begin to question, what was I thinking? Was this the right move I made? Should I have waited a little longer? Should I have taken someone with me? You begin to start to question those things, and in that moment, and that's Peter in that moment seeing the wind. You know, the wind was always there. It was already stormy. It was already there. It was surrounding them. All of that was there. But when he took his eyes off Christ, when he took his mind off of what of his target, of his goal, where he was going to, because he was walking towards the Lord. But when he took his mind off of it, he took his mind and his eyes off of it and began to see. He's like, I think at that moment his surroundings began to register, like his physical surroundings started to register, because in that moment, before then, he wasn't operating in the physical per se. Like, he was more like, okay, faith filled, and it was more, okay, I'm seeing Christ, I'm moving in faith right now. I'm not looking at at my physical surroundings. But then he stepped out in faith, but then the physical caught up with him and kind of like was overshadowing the spiritual at that moment. And then he began to notice the physical things that were happening around him. And as soon as he took his eyes off of the Lord, tapped out of the spiritual and started to tap a hold onto the physical, he began to sink. And that's exactly what happens to us when we're going through something, when we're dealing with something, or when we step out in faith, when you start that business and you get your first no, or when you start that business and nobody's coming along with you, when you send in that proposal and somebody turns it down, or they say, oh, that's not good enough, or when you stand and you sing and somebody says, oh, you don't have what it takes, when you write that book and somebody, you send in your first draft and the editor is like, no, this is not going to cut it. When you get all of those no's in that, you keep moving, you just keep walking, just keep your eyes on the goal. But when you start to see those, when you start to focus on the no's or the negatives that are being said to you or spoken to you or spoken over you or surrounding you, it could also be financial. It could be that you're going through something, or you're thinking of having something, or you're thinking of doing something, and you're like, I don't have the money, I can't get this money, the bank denied my loan application, I don't have the credit that I need to do this, so obviously I can't do it, I'm not called to do it, so I'm not going to do it. So you step out, but then because of the wind that's around you, you begin to see the wind and you start to sink. You start to say, okay, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to, and then you begin to sink. So here is where a lot of us can draw strength from Peter, or can pull a page from him here, because when he started to sink, he cried out. He cried, Lord, save me. Again, this is a guy who knows who his master is. This is a guy who has tremendous faith in the ability, in the power of his master to save. Yes, he recognized that, okay, I know if it's him, he's going to tell me to come to him and I'm going to be able to walk on water. So yes, he took that first step. He stepped out there. He started walking towards him. But of course, when the physical came in, he started to sink. But then he's like, okay, wait up. I know who I'm going to, so I better cry out to him right now, because I know that he's able. He's like, Lord, save me. Many times we need to get to that point too. Like, if you fall, you should be able to cry out, Lord, save me. You should be able to say, okay, God, help me get to this next step. Help me take the put the next put one foot in front of the other. Help me cross this hurdle when you get there, when you feel as though you can't go on. That's you crying out, Lord, save me. And we're told that immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. Immediately Jesus reached out his hand and caught him. And he says, you of little faith, why did you doubt? You of little faith, why did you doubt? You of little faith, why did you doubt? And so it's so important. I was reading this and I was thinking to myself, wow, here I am thinking, I don't think Peter had little faith. To me, that was not little faith at all. That was some humongous faith that he had. But the fact that he took his eyes off, the fact that he let the outer noise, the fact that he was distracted for a minute, for a second, let's just say a split second, that threw him off. That tampered with his faith. And Jesus is like, you of little faith, why did you doubt? Because he doubted for a split second. He doubted. For a split second, he's like, oh my gosh, what's going on here? Is it really him? Am I really walking on water? So he had that moment of just doubting in that split second. You of little faith, why did you doubt? So it's important for us to remember this. It's extremely important that we remember that when we have that faith on the inside of us, to know that Christ is able to just really to really pull us out of whatever situation we're in. You know, he's always there. He's ready to draw us in. He's ready to say, okay, I'm here. I'm waiting on you. Whatever you need, I'm here for you. So it's left for us to trust and trust completely. It's not just for us, just saying with our mouths and just using our words and saying, okay, God, I trust you. I know that you're able to do this. I know that you can save me. No, it's easy to say it, but can you really live it out? Can you really trust completely? Can you walk on water when he says to you, come? If you cry out to him and say, Lord, if it's really you, ask me to come to you. And when he says to you, come, and you get out of that boat and you're walking on the water towards him, can you just really trust and set your eyes on him and say, okay, God, I know that I'm looking straight at you and I'm not looking to the left or to the right. And I know that if I just keep my eyes on you, if I keep my focus on you, then I know that I'm not going to sink. I'm going to definitely get to you. But if you're also at that point where you notice the winds that are just shaking and all the chaos that's going on around you, and you fall down and you begin to sink, you should have that courage as well and that confidence to be able to cry out and say, Lord, save me. Many times it's really not about just falling. I mean, it's not an easy road. We're going to fall. We're going to have those moments where we're going to kind of just waver along the way. A lot of times you're gonna fall and you're gonna fall face flat on the ground. But staying on the ground or remaining in that position where you're falling is not ideal. Don't do that. When you fall, you should be able to say, help me. When you're sinking, you should be able to say, help me, because he is able. He's able to do it. And we need to, this evening, my encouragement to you is to have that faith that Peter had. Have that faith in knowing who your God is. Have that faith in knowing, in having confidence in the God that you serve, in the God that you know, because he knew, and it was because he knew who his Father was. And he says, yes, if it is him, I know that if I ask him to tell me to come, he's going to ask me to come, and I'm going to walk on water. So this evening, my encouragement to you is know who your God is. Know who your God is. He's a loving Father. He's that Father who would be there for you in the midst of your tears, when you're going through a hard time, when you've lost a loved one and you can't seem to find a way out, or you can't seem to understand why things are happening the way they're happening to you. When you're at that stage or that point in your life where you feel as though nobody really knows what's going on, but you know who your God is, and you know that He understands you, and He sees everything that you're going through. He sees every tear that you cry. When you're crying at night and nobody sees you crying, He sees every tear. We're told that even the hairs on our heads are numbered. He knows you so well. He knows exactly what you're going through. He feels the pain that you're going through. And He's saying to you that you're not alone. I'm walking with you. And He's calling out to you. He's saying, come. And all you have to do is walk to Him. I don't know who needs to hear this tonight, but if you're out there and you're going through something, if you're out there and you feel as though there's just nothing, you can't seem to find joy, you can't seem to find, you can't find or see the blessing in whatever it is that you're going through, I want to encourage you tonight to just take a moment, to take a pause, and just start to reflect on how many times He's been so good to you. Because when you start to think about how good He's been to you, I mean, it could just be little things as simply blinking your eyes, that you're able to blink your eyes, that you're able to smile. You have friends that you can call. You have you have a family. So many people don't have families. Some people have families, but they don't have a good relationship with their family, so they can't even relate to any family member. So people don't even have friends. But if you have friends, if you have people that you can run to, people that you can share with, you're able to. If you drove today to work and you're back home, it's enough reason for you to say, God, thank you, because He preserved your life. You have no idea the accidents that He spared you from. There's so many people that woke up this morning, but they're not here right now, but you're alive. Yes, whatever you're going through might hurt. Yes, you might be hurting so many times today. Your heart might be breaking right now, but He's still faithful. He still loves you. And He's saying to you today to just give it all to Him. That He's able to take away every pain. He's able to take away every fear. He's able to take away every anxiety. He's able to take away every heartache. Whatever it is that you're going through, He's able to take it. That's all He's asking. He's asking you to just surrender totally to Him. So hopefully tonight you'll be able to just draw some strength from the words that I've shared tonight, and apply it in your life, and just really reflect and meditate, and just cry out to God and say, Lord, save me. I can't go through this on my own. I don't know how to deal with this emotions I'm feeling, but I know that you're able to help me. Because trust me, no human can do for you what God can. He will put people in your path, but ultimately He's the one that does exactly what you need. So don't make any rash decisions if you're in a state right now that you're feeling like, I'm feeling bland. I'm feeling like the world is just crumbling all around me. I'm hurting so much, and nobody understands what I'm going through. Nobody knows what I'm feeling right now. I can't even, if you don't even have the words, if you can't put together the words, you can't articulate the words to actually express how you're feeling, I want you to know that God knows exactly how you're feeling. And He sees you. And He's saying to you today that my child, I see you, I understand, I know what you're going through. Just, come to me. Just surrender to him tonight and let him wrap his loving arms around you, because he knows and he sees you. So on that note, I just wanted to say thank you so much for joining me tonight. Oh, I see my baby Casey on. Hi, Casey. How are you? Just sending you lots of love today, my love. I'm thinking about you, praying for you and Mom and Tommy. And so just know that God loves you, and he will definitely see you through all that you are, all that you're going through. So please join me again next week for another episode of Faith Matters with me, Mnena. It's just, it's always an opportunity to come on and just really reflect on just God's goodness, to reflect on, how we're being his hands and his feet, to reflect on the faith walk. Because again, it is not easy. It's not an easy journey. It's not an easy road to walk, but it is possible. And with God's mercy and grace, we're able to do it. And that's what we're here to do. New Season Gospel FM is here to help you, to help one another. We're helping each other, helping one another on this journey of faith. Like when I fall, you're there to say, hey, get up, let's go. When you fall, we're here to say, come on, let's go. We're on this journey together. The final destination is heaven, and we're just really here making sure that we all get there. We all get there. We don't want to get it there, beat up and bruised up and all of that. But we're still gonna get. If we have to get there like that, we still will get there. But we have to do it together. We're here to encourage one another on this journey. So again, thank you so much for coming on this evening. To family who have tuned in on newseasonfm.com, I appreciate you all. To YouTube and Facebook family in the room, thank you so much for joining this evening. Don't forget to join us tomorrow, 6:30. For our morning devotion in his presence, that runs from 6:30 to 7:30, and you're going to join Pastor Steve tomorrow from 8 a.m. to 10 for Turn Up Tuesday inside the Pastor Steve show. Tomorrow that runs from again 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. So again, have a wonderful night, everyone. Continue being God's hands and feet. Continue shining his light brightly for others to see, because that's what we're called to do. We're called to be our brother's keepers. So keep praying one for another. Again, thank you all so much. Thank you, Yeye, for coming on. Mercilessly, thank you. Zane, thank you. Randu, thank you for coming on tonight. Rev, I appreciate you coming on tonight. Akil, thank you. Sister Marcia, thank you for coming on. Olivia, thank you. I love you. Have a good night. I'll call you afterwards. Thank you so much, Mahulu. Thanks, Casey, for watching. Appreciate you. I love you. Have a good night, everyone. And of course, taking us out tonight is one of my all-time favorite. It was actually my song of the year last year. I think I'm going to kind of just run with it this year as well. But everyone knows it's one of my favorites. So whatever it is that you're going through, just know that pass ya pass.
Christians, no matter your denomination, yes, sir. It's about time we make a solid decision. Minister the shade, present the journey. And you feel left that go. We don't want no time for your carry feelings. Hey, you miss a man where you a carry that go. Life is short, man, enjoy the moment. Don't waste time, a fight past opponent. God will return things that were stolen, and there be a make an atonement. Cause it is a waste of time to even a bad mind. We just greet them with a smile. Thank God you're alive. Living on me past. I have to put good things behind me. I'm living on me past. Look to me future, my change now. Hear them a walk and a ask some change so. God in our life, everything we arrange now. Up in the line, yeah, we come from a place now. If you love me, then let me know. If you hate me, then let me go. Just let me grow. How you will get overthrow? Like over so. Yeah, yeah. Cause it is a waste of time to even a bad mind. We just greet them with a smile. Thank God you're alive.
Let me living on me past. I have to put good things behind me. I'm in living on me past. Me put the past behind me. Look to me future. Rest towards my heart. I am calling on me living on me past.
Turn bad, then you done bad already. You feel sad, then you done sad already. Don't make your life miserable and comfortable with something where somebody done already. Step into the future, forget about the past. Year by year, you feel renew your thoughts. You have life, so all wasn't last. Just God and He will carry your ass. Cause it is a waste of time to even a bad mind. We just greet them with a smile. Thank God you're alive.